Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and we're back again for part 2 here at Dr. Von D. Mizell Eula Johnson State Park. I just Googled it. I'm sorry, but we're back. This is part 2. It was called John U. Lloyd State Park. This was called John U. Lloyd State Park. He was a lawyer of somewhat for over 30 years in, I guess, Broward County. So this was called the John U. Lloyd State Park. I had to take a minute before I continue recording part 2 to check that out. It was called John U. Lloyd. It's been like that for years. And when I saw the change, I saw it, off of 95. You're driving down 95 and they say, oh, Dr. Von D. Mizell. And I was like, what? So yes, it is a John U. Lloyd State Park, which got renamed recently within the past 10, 20 years to, Dr. Von D. Mizell Eula Johnson State Park. If you're just now joining us, we're doing a South Broward run. Earlier we visited the Dania Beach Pier, which is in the city of Dania Beach, which is the second city going north into Broward County, or the last city going south of 90 of Broward County coming into Miami. It's the second north city coming into Broward from south, and it's the second to last city going south and coming out of Broward. So there's several. So now we are continuing our I see that this is closed off because that's a water area, so that's closed off. So we're continuing our Dr. Von D. Mizell and Eula Johnson State Park. If you want, like I said, this park is known because Dr. Von D. Mizell, this is a historical park, so this will be going in history's outflow. If you was listening to what I was saying earlier, this park was the first colored park in Broward County for colored people, and it was only accessible by boat in the 1950s. And Von D. Mizell, which was one of the advocates, was pushing for Broward County to build a road accessing this park, and eventually the road got built, I believe, in the late 60s, and it is now accessible through North Ocean Drive there in Dania Beach. And this park is near the Port Everglades. It's also near the international Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, and it is north of the Dania Beach Fishing Pier, which is now called the Dania Beach Pier. So you have several points. This is closed off apparently. It seems like I'm the only one that's here, so I'm guessing a lot of people that they don't come out here because they go to Dania Beach Fishing Pier, Dania Beach Pier, which is a lot more better. Like as I was continuing what I was saying, this was the first colored park for African Americans here in the Broward County area, and it was only accessible by boat until Von D. Mizell pushed Broward County, and eventually he lobbied and pushed for a boat access. Not a boat access, for vehicle access to build a road, because just like with Virginia Key Beach and Key Biscayne back in the mid-90s, a lot of these islands and a lot of these areas like Key Biscayne and Virginia Key Beach and a lot of these other areas here in South Florida, they're only accessible by boat. And eventually commissioners, government officials, mayors, and a lot of important people lobbied around and pushed for them to build roads connecting these cities. Key Biscayne is a popular city, and a lot of people who live on the mainland works in Key Biscayne. Key Biscayne is also home to a lot of historical places. It's home to Virginia Key Beach. It's also home to the Miami Seaquarium, which is a popular, aquarium themed park there, and a popular, the Bill Baggs Cape Florida State Park as well. So a lot of things. So a lot of people go down there for that and stuff. And remember, we did a video of Bill Baggs. We did a video of Virginia Key Beach and stuff like that. So we've been around there. So I've always wanted to go to this park, and I've never had the opportunity. And I said, now that I have the opportunity, I said, let me go and let me see what this park is all about. This state park. Upon doing my research, I found out this was the first colored African American park. And I've been thinking, like, a lot of these parks that have access to them, and that was only for colors, back then was only accessible by boats. You realize they made it harder for African Americans to actually access these parks, because, as you know, Virginia Key Beach as well as this park, they was only accessible by boat. So it was kind of hard for a lot of people to actually come out to these areas and access these areas. So this is another part. Oh, I guess we can access the areas over here. So I'm guessing we're getting close to wherever. Oh, I guess the state park is over there. Oh, that's even better. So we're getting closer and closer to the areas here. Oh, so we're getting closer to the main part of the park. So we're now gonna go up here because we're almost close to the entrance. So hallelujah. I just need to see now if I can access the Ocean Drive Road by pedestrian walking, or I will have to do my little catwalk, turn around and walk this Amityville of area here to get back to where I need to get to. Because I know somewhere over these trees and stuff is where the actual access to. Well, it seems like with them, the area, the water is not deep, because as you can see, the person is in the water. So I'm guessing the water is not that deep because they're standing up in the water. So okay. So we're almost at the access point here. So okay. I'm also going to pay my little fee to get in. I think it's about $3 if I'm not mistaken. I looked at the online. It's about $3, I believe. Most of these parks are only $2. Especially the ones like the Barnacle, which is only accessible by walking, and a lot of these other state parks, they're only $2. And some people get away without paying, because I see that the pay stations are just like little poles where you can just put the money in an envelope and slip them down the pole, and they have like maybe a little area at the bottom of the pole where they open up and they take all the money out. So a lot of this stuff is just pretty much accessible by, and a lot of people probably don't pay those fees. I see we're coming up onto a picnic area. I knew I saw a sign of civilization when I seen the two people with their bathing suits on come in, and I was like, oh, I'm near civilization. But this would take you over a 30+ minute walk, even probably more, depending on how far you're coming from. Like if you're coming from the area, no cooking, fires, or pets beyond this point. This is the trail, Coral Reef Ecosystem Conservation Trail. This is actually an area where it's accessible, only by walking, and other areas. I see that that's a walking trail, so they're telling you a lot of things are prohibited over here. We're gonna keep walking, and I believe that's one of the rangers. Now these rangers here at this park, I believe also this is Be a Better Boater this is an area where you can relax yourself. These rangers probably also double as lifeguards because they have to also, because remember, this is not just a regular state park. This park also is is part of the beach. So they might have to say, well, you have to access this park. They double as lifeguards, and they do have, for their sea, they have kayaks for sale and stuff like that. I'm gonna probably buy another thing of water. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, oh, you don't have to pay, you came this way, so you don't have to pay, you should get in for free. But as myself, I don't like to, I'm not one of them people that, enter places without paying. So, and there is a sign over here. We're gonna go look at the sign and see what the sign says. It looks like a historical sign. So this is probably where you access the beach area here. We're gonna walk this way, and there's probably and this is one of the few beach areas that I've seen with a playground, because remember, Dania Beach had a playground, and this is one of the few beaches. This probably has a playground too, but Dania Beach is one of the first few cities, beaches that has a playground at their beach. And now we're gonna come here. Oh, there is here, and here's the history behind it. African Americans living in South Florida in the early part of the 20th century drove from as far away as Palm Beach and Miami to use Fort Lauderdale's beaches, but met with significant resistance from oceanfront property owners. On May 14, 1946, a delegation from the Negro Professional and Businessmen's League Incorporation petitioned the Board of County Commissioners seeking a public bathing beach for colored people in Broward County. In 1954, the county finally accorded a barrier island site designated for its segregation and promised to make the beach accessible, but a road was never built. In response, Eula Johnson, Dr. Von D. Mizell, and many others led a series of protests, weigh-ins on all-white public beaches. In July 1962, the city of Fort Lauderdale requested an injunction to end the weigh-ins. The court disagreed with the municipality's position and entered an order in favor of defendants, thus launching a larger civil rights movement that soon brought integration to local schools. The park has had a few names, but on July 1st, 2016, the park's name was changed to honor our local black leaders whose historical actions forever changed the landscape. So this was named John U. Lloyd State Park, and in 2016 they changed it to the Dr. Von D. Mizell - Eula Johnson State Park, which was the founders of, not the founders, but the premier people who lobbied to have a road built for this park. Thanks for joining us today. Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So they lobbied to have this park have a vehicle access to it, because as you know, like I said, when it said, and I told you this earlier, back in the early 1900s, within the 1950s, they opened this park as a only black-owned, black-colored park in Broward County. Remember, in Miami, Virginia Key Beach was the only colored park for residents in Miami, and both parks was only accessible by boat. So Von D. Mizell and Eula Johnson both made it to where they lobbied and protested and fought to get these parks, to actually get this park to be accessed by a road. Now, we're not going to go far into the park. We're going to go a little further up to the park, and we're going to see what else the park has to offer, because I can see right now we're at the entrance of the park where everything is at. So we're not going to go too far out. We're only going to access certain parts of this park because we're now at the forefront of the state park. And I guess we're at the end of where the park is. This is the parking lot. Pets allowed in picnic area only. Manatee Pavilion, Big G Whiskey Creek Hideout. Charcoal only, that's a little fire pit. We have several areas here that is accessible. There's another accessible. How long is this beach in this state park? If you've ever been here and you know about this park, you know, email me. See how this is this water cold or hot? Well, the water is not as hot, but we're going to go, and we are now to the back on the beach part. So now we're gonna go back over here. I'm gonna access this area. We're gonna access area. We're not gonna go too far up because now we're going to be going further out, and that's going to be out of our way to go further out. So now we're gonna go here, and I guess this is the beach part of the state park. And you would have thought like they would have had extra amenities because you know at Virginia Key Beach they had a train ride, and they also had a carousel for the people there, and they had a concession stand, which they actually do have a concession stand here. But you know, you would have thought because of the area, you know, they would have had extra amenities as well. So we're gonna walk this way. We're gonna walk this area. We're not gonna do too much of walking, like further more walking, because I believe that we're at the beginning of where the park begins. And alcoholic beverages prohibited. Caution, no lifeguards, swim at own risk. Yeah, a lot of these state parks that are surrounded by waters and have beaches like Bill Bags, and also what's the other one? Olita River. They don't have lifeguards. They only have what you call them? They only have the rangers from the ranger station. So for them it's kind of, you know, you can't really access or have access to lifeguards. So if you swim out here, you have to swim at your own risk. I did forget to mention that, because the state parks are ran by the state and they don't have their own. You see, like Dania Beach is a park and it's owned by the county, you know, because it's a city. It's either a city park or a county park. I don't know, because, you know, in Miami they do have city parks, they do have county parks. Like, you know, one of the parks that I've did my videos, which was Gwen Cherry, that's a county park. And then there was a video I did, Charles Hadley Park, which is a city park, you know, and there are several parks that is owned by the city. There are several parks that's owned by the county. But regardless, this is owned by the state, and a lot of the state parks that's surrounded by water, they don't have lifeguards. They only have rangers. So if you swim out here, you know, you got to swim at your own risk, because, you know, you're only paying like $2 or $3 or so in these parks. So you're only paying, you know, entrance fees, and those entrance fees are fees to, you know, help maintain the parks and keep the parks clean. You're only paying like $2-3. That's it, you know, depending on, and probably like $5-6 per vehicle, or you're probably paying $2 per person per vehicle and stuff like that. Because when I come to these state parks, I only pay $2 to get in. And I know a lot of you, like I said, are probably saying, "Oh, you can get in for free because you're already in the park." But I'd rather pay, because I'm not a stealer or a thief. or robber or any of sorts. So I'd rather pay what I owe. I'm gonna try to go to this little area where the concession stand is at. I might get me a cold drink or a cold beverage from the area. And here. So we are now 20 minutes into the show and this episode, and we are here. I'm gonna buy something to drink, and I'm gonna take a sit down, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more, and then we're gonna wrap up this episode, because we are going to get ready to head out and to see and to get ready for our next adventure. There was another location that I was supposed to be visiting. That location might not get visited today, but we're still going to see if I can actually visit the location. If not, it'll get visited another day. So I'm not worried. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm gonna get a cold, refreshing water from here. One that's cold. This is called Whiskey Creek. It's open 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, let me see. Sweet corn, 2 tacos, chicken and car. Oh, so we're actually gonna do fruit specials. Let's see. I'm gonna get a soda. Do I want something? So they got food specials here. 2 tacos, chicken or carnitas for $8, cheese fries for $7, grilled cheese and fries for $8, chips with guac and soda $8, and street corn for $8. So I might end up getting the area, this is the accessible street area. I'm probably gonna use that accessible area to actually get. This is Habitat. Yes, I like the tacos. I want to try the tacos and see how it is. The water is actually gonna check out the water.
Lettuce, tomato, onion?
I'm gonna do the 2 tacos and the cheese fries. And a drink to go with it as well. So, okay.
Is that a drink?
Yeah.
And
How much are your water? How much are your water?
Like $2.
Yeah.
a Sprite and a water. That's what I'm gonna get. And of course, we're gonna do a.
No, I didn't eat up.
Uh-oh. Let me do this right quick. Gonna see. I'm gonna get the 2 tacos with the cheese fries as well, and I'm gonna get a soda and a water to go with it. So it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be close to $20. So let's go to see. I guess after this, I'm probably gonna do a food review of this place. It is called. Hello. What comes on the tacos?
Tacos. Lettuce, tomato, onion, cheese, crema, which is like a Spanish sour cream.
Yeah.
And then a side of salsa.
Oh, okay. I'll get that. No onions.
Do you want the chicken or carnitas?
Can I get 1 and 1? I guess the chicken, along with the.
No, I'll do one of them for you. I got you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I'll go back there and help you.
And I'll get a order of cheese fries.
Ooh, hold on. Did you? The other nacho cheese.
It's not ready. That's fine.
We have another one. You know where it's at?
Okay, no problem. We're almost at the end, but I'm gonna have my lunch here as well. I would love the tacos. I want to try the tacos out, and of course, we're gonna do a food review for the tacos as well. This is a nice place. This is Whiskey Creek Hideout, which is a restaurant here at the Eula Johnson State Park. Whiskey. So you have it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just had to make sure that I had, because I just got rid of the other one that was in there, because it's like a giant can. I have the new one. I just
Okay.
told him to open it. Okay, you said no onions, right?
Yeah. The cheese fries and yeah.
Anything else for you?
1 starry and 1 water.
$20.54.
Okay. 1 second.
21?
Yes.
$0.46 is your change. It's sorry in the water, right?
Yes.
Did you want your receipt?
Sure, no problem.
I'll bring your food out when it's ready, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we're here and we're at the waterway. So now I want to say thank you for watching. We are at almost here. We're at the Whiskey Creek Hideout, which is a restaurant here. I ordered these tacos along with some cheese fries. So you know now I'm gonna go ham. So we're here and we're here at the Dr. Von D. Mizell dash Eula Johnson State Park. This is part 2. So comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. In a few minutes, we're going to do a food review, and I'm going to do a food review for the Whiskey Creek Hideout, and I'm going to show you. As you can see, what I ordered the 2 tacos, which is she gave me both the carnita and the chicken because you can only do one. You can't do both, but she's gonna give me both, which is I thank her. And also I'm doing the cheese fries, so we're gonna get that. So now we're gonna do that. So we are here. It is now time for me to go use the restroom, and from the restroom I am going to go and pick out on my food. I am here under the beautiful canopy tent that is wonderful, and it is so, the wind is blowing, it is so nice. So I'm here. So thank you for watching this episode. As always, stay blessed, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you in a little bit in the next episode. This is the Roundtable Talk here at Von D. Mizell dash Eula Johnson State Park here in Dania Beach. And take care. See you in a little bit.